we're seeing now in this kind of push of transphobia from the right, attacking and throwing hate towards cis people that don't pass as cis.
I'm treated better than a dark-skinned,
Well, I was gonna
4C, kinky hair black woman. Like,
okay, hello. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with me. How are you doing?
Hey, hi. For those that don't know me, I am soulbunni. I'm a video essayist. I focus on trans issues and social and political things. I've recently transitioned my approach from the way what I choose to cover. I'm gonna really focus on the content that I really want to make, what excites me, and the issues that I find most important to me. The rest of this year, it's going to be just filled with just amazing content that I'm excited just to really dive into.
I want to talk about cis privilege. I've been really interested lately in the kind of interweaving connections between cis privilege, white privilege, but then also pretty privilege and passing privilege. And I think that there are some really interesting similarities, like mostly for this conversation focusing on passing privilege and the connections to pretty privilege. Because I think like cis and white privilege are kind of, they don't really need debating. They are what they are. We should be aware of them. We should hold accountability for sure. Like, but pretty and passing privilege, I think like there still feels like there's some work that needs to be kind of unpacked there.
Yeah, as a trans girl that's cis passing, that's me being cis passing means I also have pretty privilege. Like even as me as an activist, like I can go into this like as an activist because not only am I cis passing, I don't even think half of my crowd even knows I'm trans. Even though on my bio, like I talk about I put queer, but like most people like that know me or they know I'm trans, but like a lot of my audience probably doesn't even know I'm a trans woman. They probably assume I'm a non-binary AFAB person, but I can say like and that's the thing, like as a cis-passing trans woman, like people assume like I have a vagina all the time. Even when I say I'm trans, they still think I have a vagina. And it's very interesting to kind of see like, because it's intertwining with pretty privilege. Because like me as an activist, like because I'm super petite, I'm 114 pounds. 114 pounds. I'm 5'7". I'm 5'7" and a half. So, you know, so there's that. And because I'm a light-skinned black person, like for a black person, I'm a very like, look, I'm lighter than my wall. My wall's brown. I'm a very light-skinned black person. So, you know, I have the really big, you know, alternative girly hair, you know, purple and all the other stuff. So it's just like, I remember I said to the crowd, like, if I was a fat, dark-skinned black trans woman with short hair, would you all be here right now? Would you still come to my protest? Would you support me to the degree that you are? Or because I'm the palatable trans girl, because I'm the palatable black woman that's light-skinned, that's skinny. Like, these are all the things that, like, within whiteness, like if they're going to choose a type of black person and they're going to choose a type of black trans person, they're going to choose someone like me. Or someone lighter. Their pretty privilege and cis-passing privilege go hand in hand. I would have cis men like approach me and I'd be so afraid. I'm like, I know damn well you don't know I'm trans. I had to friend zone them, but like especially at bars, I would not take drinks from them. Sometimes I would. I'm like, you know what, thank you. And take the drink and go on my day. Like, so it's a double-edged sword. So yeah, being cis-passing, there's a lot of privileges. There's a lot of things that like a lot of girls is like, I don't deal with being identified as a trans woman, so I don't deal with a lot of the hate that you know, a lot of trans girls that are identified as trans deal with. Like, that is not my experience. I've been super lucky that even when it comes down to like, I spent the last 5 years not on hormones. Not many trans girls can say they've not been on hormones and been cis-passing and been treated as a cis woman. That has been my experience. The only reason why I got on hormones recently is because I got my first ever chin hair at 25. And I was like, oh, hell no, let me go contact the endocrinologist. Get that situated now.
Oh my God, I hate you. I hate you, but that's all it took.
Even when men didn't know I was trans because they didn't read my bio because they wanted to be illiterate, you know, they did not physically harm me. Like, some of them were too afraid to even like do anything to me because of how much they just like saw me as a cis woman, even when I told them. like they still were gentle.
They don't feel threatened. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't feel threatened. They were just very much like, oh, I'm not into that, which is a whole different tone. There's a lot that goes into, like, again, like that would mean like I would be hired at a job. I'm more likely to, you know, we're more likely to get certain opportunities because we're cis passing. When it comes to the faces of the trans community, they usually put the most cis passing if trans person there, even though like I'll say this now, it's only, I have noticed the only trans people, when it comes to like at least trans women, that aren't cis passing, that are not cis passing, that they allow to have a platform and be huge, are white trans girls. They don't do that for black trans girls.
Yeah,
definitely. Black or brown. Like, we all have to be model-esque looking bitches. We have to be bad bitches to get a platform as trans women of color. So we have to. So you better come with the cis passing package. Like, I mean, we're like, even me as like a video essay. Like, I think because I am a cis passing black trans woman, you know, I feel people feel more inclined to support me and boost me, and they really like feel for me. And, you know, if I wasn't a cis passing trans girl, would I have the same amount of support? Would I have as much push and this and as many people embracing me? I don't think so. I honestly, I don't think so. I don't think so for a damn minute. I just don't. Like, you know, look at Cat Black. Like, Cat Black is a cis passing black trans woman. We both of us know, even though like we're massively different in follower counts, we both know that like a large part of the reason why, like, it's easier for like my white I know I have a large white following, but like I know that's like you know, it's easier for white people to sympathize with me because I'm cis passing. They're like, oh, I would never want to see you brutalize or harm because like you look like a cis woman. Like, I would never know. I get that so much. I would never know.
Which is problematic, isn't it, really, if you think about it? So if I didn't, you wouldn't care if I died? Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't care if I got brutalized. Then you think that's my problem because I am cis passing. Like, damn, that's fucked up. And I've heard that. I've heard that so many times because I'm cis passing. It's pretty interesting to kind of it's in the way it's like I like a spy. I'm like a lucky spy. There's a difference in being stealth. And there's someone that's like, you're just living as you.
Yes.
And you see how they talk about it. I've had people talk about trans people around me or to me in a degrading way. And I'm just like, that's how you see it. And I don't really add on.
Yeah, I've had that. And I've even had to step in and say like, oh, by the way, you probably don't know I am trans. So if you want to carry on that conversation, you might want to be aware of that, like, before you embarrass yourself, like, and stuff like that. And I think like, yeah, this is interesting. This is really interesting to me because you still seem very aware of the situation that people go through that aren't, you know, cis passing and don't have this like pretty privilege and stuff, which is admirable. It really is. Do you think that it affects how you try to interact with other people? And because I know that after doing the work and learning from my perspective, like, especially with white privilege, like learning that my name probably got me more jobs than my ability throughout most of my life, and seeing the kind of difference from a male expressing person to a female expressing person, seeing how the world treated me completely different, started treating me like a completely different thing. It made it very aware to me that like, oh, okay, so this is a thing, you know, that means people racialized as black people of color are innately being treated differently, unequivocally. So how do you kind of use that to treat other people fairly?
Yeah, I've seen how the girls are treated. I've been friends with trans girls for years from day one, and you know, me hearing their stories and their experiences, even with the type of shit they deal with when they deal with men, because they are not cis passing, like the type of men they have to deal with, it's so sad. So like I try to like I love to be affirming. Like that's something like I've like I was that unethical trans girl at a point where early my transition where it was like, well, like I get in. It was kind of like, well, I get in the club, you don't, too bad. Or like I've been the type of girl when I was younger, it was like, oh well, like if you get clocked, you're gonna clock me. Like so like there has been growth. So I have gone from that. And again, that was like when I was like 18, 19, 20, maybe the tail end of being 20. I've got out of that. But you know, so I think it comes with maturity too. Like, and I think the one thing with me, because like, it's not even just that I'm cis passing pretty privileged. It's like I have a baby face. Like, people still identify me as like sometimes like a 19, 20-year-old. So people think I'm not even legal age of drinking. So like, I see like I've seen older women, older cis women's like concern for me and my safety. I'm like, are you okay, hon? Like, I'm thinking I'm young as hell. Like, girl.
Interesting. I'm seeing this. Yeah, I'm seeing that from the other side. Like, I'm in my 30s. I'm entering my 30s, and I'm seeing the attention as cis passing. I think cis passing used to have pretty privilege. Now I'm like a middle-aged 30-year-old, and I'm clearly giving off married energy. So the way that like people interact with me is different. Like, I used to get guys stop me in the street and ask for my number. Now I don't get that. Like, I'm clearly not on that level, and people do treat me differently. Like, but at the moment I feel like I'm going under the radar. Like, I'm I'll jump to the shop in a sweater and like put my hair up. Like, I'm clearly not trying to get attention, but it's different from how like as kind of a non-passing trans woman, I was trying to avoid attention, and that would sometimes mean having to hit a certain quota of like pretty privilege, right? It's like it goes complete full circle. Like, I always used to describe it as like a checklist. It's like, if I do enough things, if I make sure my hair and nails look okay, I wear enough colours, and I put some makeup on, I'll at least give off the atmosphere of someone that's trying to pass as female. Whereas now, I deliberately I'm like, I'm not putting on makeup to go to the shop. I'm going to put my hair up. And like, I know that I look more like, I'm trying to appear less feminine. But ironically, it's giving off middle-aged woman that doesn't care about her appearance vibes. Like, it's so like full circle.
For me, it's a special occasion. I would not wear makeup when we meet on dates. That wasn't it. Like, I wear makeup maybe like 3-4 times a year. That's me. Like, that's how. So like, as this trans girl that never felt the need to wear makeup and still identifies as a cis woman, like, that's a privilege. Like, that's a privilege to wear. Definitely. Like, that's money that I was able to spend on other things. I was going to say, have to invest money on things. Yeah, money. Yeah, and also there was a money reason too. I was too broke to afford makeup. But also, I got lucky. Yeah. I got lucky that because I'm just passing, like that wasn't even a problem. Like, I was still treated like a cute girl. You know, they was fine with the natural face, because I was the type of girl that's like, okay, if I was gonna put money in anything, I'll put money in my hair. So I would get good hair products, and that would get me real far. But yeah, it's very telling, because again, like, not being passing is costly. Like I said, the makeup, the surgeries, even the way, like, if someone were to wear, it's not cis passing. To me, it's like, oh, it's cute, it's adorable. You're wearing the big jacket and like skinny jeans, and that's cute, or like a sweater, and then someone else. Yeah. Again, then also, like, I have a very like petite build. Like, if you like I have very small shoulders, actually.
Even frame and everything.
My frame is very petite. Like, I'm a very like slim, like tiny girl. Like, I'm always just a tiny girl. I'm tiny. I'm always tiny. Yeah. I've been skinny all my life. I have skinny privilege as well. Like, I deal with the skinny privilege. It's like, because I'm a skinny, light-skinned Black person with hazel eyes, mind you, at that, with colored eyes, this is a multitude of just like the way I am treated on a level that just even regular like cis Black women. I'm treated better than a dark-skinned, 4C, kinky hair Black woman. Like,
this is the thing. Yeah, this is what I wanted to talk about. So the connection between pretty privilege and cis privilege is a thing, because we're seeing now in this kind of push of transphobia from the right and people that are unintelligent attacking and throwing hate towards cis people that don't pass as cis. And because of the innate beauty standards being westernized and colonialization and all of that garbage, like you're saying about being a light-skinned person of color gives you that privilege compared to a darker skinned, which is it's like an internal, it's so sad to see, like, but so the cis privilege of like this, so the ironic cis passing privilege that we have trumps like cis people that don't pass as cis. And so then when you consider that, like it clearly shows that this pretty privilege element has a connection and an importance, and that affects safety, right? And then so to go as far as to say that that's also affected by how much money people have. I mean, I'm the kind of other end of the story. Like, I've had a lot of surgery. I had facial feminization surgery on my forehead. It did kind of go wrong, which has left me with a full fringe and a half open eye for the rest of my life. So I know what it's like to put money into something, and I needed the electrolysis. I needed hormones, and I still now have to dress for my body type. There are certain things I cannot do and I cannot wear, and I can't go out and expect to pass. And, you know, I'll always be comfortable with hair covering my face and, you know, stuff like that. And that's the rest of my life, you know, like, so, and I was lucky enough to be able to afford that from having a privileged upbringing to, and I wasn't rich, don't get me wrong, but like, I know that my level of what I had was up in the top 10% of the world. So I was lucky, definitely. But it crippled me financially to transition, to spend that money on these surgeries, and my nose job I had, facial feminization surgery, hormones, everything. So it then becomes a class issue, right? Because any cis person that doesn't have that pretty privilege, or any trans person that doesn't have cis passing privilege and the money to change that, are going to have a different quality of life, 100%. And so when we see these famous, very rich and beautiful, like you say, passing people that usually have the spotlight, they're not really representing the entire community because they have money and funding and privilege to back them up. And not to take away from their position, because it's still hard to get there, but like, we can't all be Gigi Gorgeous, you know? We can't all afford to have all of that stuff, you know?
And it's very interesting when you put it that way, because that is definitely, like, even like, again, like, I can think of back to a situation like earlier this summer, like, this person named Jess Hilarious. She's a transphobe, full-blown transphobe, dark-skinned Black woman. But she's read, and as many Black women read, with being told they have masculine features, that they have sharper feature, whatever and whatnot, and that, you know, she's been identified, called trans, or assumed to be trans as a cis woman, and she has, you know, like, those experiences had made her hateful, because now, you know, I've heard, literally seen her and other people that have gone through experiences where they deal with that, and all they can think is like, well, I have a vagina, so like, you'll always be below me, type of, like, literally that's what like Jess Lara said to like trans women specifically. And it's just like, girl, like, that's like, it's sad, I'm sorry, but like, also like, that's not gonna, like, you holding that above me isn't gonna still change the fact that like how bad like you're treated in society, because you don't have light skin privilege, because you have short 4C hair, which is like a tighter curl type, super that's when it's like my hair, right? Even in my frizzy state, my hair drops. But like with someone that's like, because I'm half Black, I'm mixed, but someone that's like full Black, their hair mostly grows upwards, and it's also because it's a way tighter curl, so we can have the same length, but their hair might look really short because it has more shrinkage. Or like mine, I have a looser curl pattern, so my length shows more. So there's just like a lot of privileges that I have that even cis women don't have, Black cis women, and they're treated throughout the world entirely differently. And I feel like with some of these cis women that, and I'm talking about specifically the ones like Jess Hilarious, I think it's the jealousy of, and this is like a more nuanced conversation, but it's the jealousy of a cis passing woman that doesn't pass, that is transphobic, or that's a TERF. Seeing trans women living our life freely, happily, and being embraced and praised, and just like that bugs them. And it sucks that you're like, damn, why are you trying to compete with a trans girl?
Well, and also like, they could take that awareness of the disparity in fairness, and they could use that to educate themselves and be an activist on our side. There's no reason they need to take that and become jealous, because I don't know nothing about you. But I agree in that a lot of the kind of TERFs that we see have, you know, you see a lot of butch lesbian TERFs, you see a lot of older women TERFs that are separate from the pretty privilege conversation. That's the best way I can put it. And
no, I know you say they're
yeah.
not conventionally attractive.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of those that are cis het. You know,
yeah,
they're, you know, I've had cis het, like I literally had to tell a couple of, like, girl, I pull more men than you. Don't even look
well, and like maybe it links back to the down low guy thing, because we know that there is also an exoticism and fetishization of trans women as well. So if they caught wind of that, it would kind of be a double-founded jealousy. And this is the interesting thing, and this is, again, because I am just living my life now. I'm happy. I have my, like, I'm kind of untouchable from that hate. That aggravates them more. And I've had people in my hate comments say, like, or basically, like, how dare you be happy? How dare you be this happy? I'm not that happy. And I'm like, that's on you. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
you know, they were dealt with unlucky cards where, you know, maybe their dating life isn't really like that. They're struggling to, like, find men that are into them, that treat them the way that they are deserve to be treated.
Yeah.
And whatnot. And then they go on TikTok or something and seeing these very attractive men, or just men of all, but just in general, like men. Let's just put just attractive, like, we all have our idea of attractiveness, but like there's, you know, like they can see trans women being embraced, treated, courted in ways that, like, they probably haven't been treated.
Yeah,
they've have to really do all these extra, you know, they'll probably say, like, I've cooked, do this, they list all the things they've done, and they still are not getting it. And I think that bugs them. I think that bugs these specifically conventionally unattractive cis TERFs, specifically TERFs.
But that's really interesting, because when you say that, also, not only can we link that back to the monetary element of, like, maybe those people don't have the same money that a trans person with money can put on their opinion appearance and will, because it's important to them. You know, there could be the disparity there, but also what's really interesting there is the link between like race as well, and like men and women, and the privilege of being male. We're seeing this kind of backlash of men being like, well, it's hard being a man too. Like, why should a woman get a job over me even if I'm more qualified, just because the company needs to be equal? Or, you know, why does someone have to proactively hire diversely because I'm more qualified? And it's like, it's giving that, isn't it? It's giving, like, they're so used to the privilege of being the only representation of female. They're so used to, I don't want to say having the spotlight, because it's a bit competitive, but like, basically they're so used to having ownership of being a woman that a trans woman threatens that ownership, because it's like, you could be doing it better than me, and I don't want to face that, because the idea of womanhood is so liquid. I mean, we saw even Matt Walsh couldn't define it in his documentary, What is a Woman? He doesn't define it at all. Like, so and me being married, wanting kids, I am the housewife, ironically. Like, we've had times where my husband does the house and I've been working, but at the moment I cook the dinners, I iron his shirts, I clean the house when I have time, and I do YouTube on the side. And there's an element of, like, I'm even choosing that. I'm free to be that.
You're a trad wife.
I'm a trad wife. Yeah, okay.
Oh God.
But like, the funniest thing is we look like that, but we are the farthest thing from that, trust me. But yeah, but to a TERF, I give off that energy, right? Like, in my videos, I'm baking a cake and I'm like, oh, my husband's home. Like, and that to them, if that's something that they've been brought up to be told that's what women do, and they're not able to achieve that, you can see why it's threatening, can't you?
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm the non-conventionally attractive cis women that feel the need to out a beautiful trans woman because they feel like, how dare you? How dare you get this man? And how dare this man embrace you at a club? And you go, like, you know, that's been a lot of trans women stories that has been. I feel like there was this one time I remember at there was this one time when I was at a house show. This really cute guy I was talking to. I was just having a conversation. You don't know shit what I was doing. I was just talking. This girl comes into me. Oh, are you trans? Right in front of him. I looked at him like, oh, this hated ass bitch.
Because that is also like dangerous. That the reason that's so serious is that's dangerous. That can turn into a hate crime very quickly. And so like that is unforgivable. That's so bad. That's so bad. There's enough men to go around. You don't have to compete.
That is a large portion of TERFs.
Definitely.
That they don't, because of the patriarchy, they don't fit conventional beauty standards that would allow them to access that some of us girls
that we do
have, whether we're cis or not. And again, there's cis women that are getting FFS, that feel the need to get FFS.
Or any form of gender affirming action. Yes, that's true. Well, the amount of girls that get like a nose job and stuff. Yes, that's a good point.
This is trans women and cis women get these surgeries where like maybe they have a way more defined jaw, or, you know, like we don't all come out the same. Like even when we saw like what like Matt Walsh was considered a woman, it's like not all women look the same. Not all women are built the same.
Yeah, exactly.
Our faces are not all the same. Like you would say generally, you would probably say based on the sexes, that generally like our faces are, but no, there's cis women that have super defined jaw, they have super defined brow bridges and super defined nose bridges and certain things that they would give to like males, but that's not the case. Like, always, like even with me, like I'm lucky as a trans girl to not have like, I have very soft rounder features in my face that's made it to where like I've been okay getting away with not having to have any affirming surgeries. Like I not only FFS is my hormones. That's what my hormones going to do for me. I'm right now 3 months, going to be gone 4 months.
I think as well, like you were saying about the feminine elements in women aren't necessarily there, you know, like that depiction of feminine beauty, but also the same should be said and can be said for men. Like not all men are born with a cheese cutting jaw. Not all men are born with the ability to grow a beard, and like that. The depiction of Western beauty of both of those two genders is
ties into like white privilege and like beauty standards, because these what they consider as what a female face is comes down to like white beauty standards and what they expect us to have. And like there's a lot of that. So yeah, it's definitely something that like when it comes down to it, like not all of us have these things, and when we do have some of these, we have some of these privileges, you know, we're treated differently. This is a nuanced conversation, and
it's
again
tricky.
I would say like if you are for the cis women that are not cis passing, like you're attacking the wrong person. Why are you attacking? You don't not attack trans women. Like we're just existing in our lives. Like we have every right to our happiness just as much as you. And your battle is with patriarchy.
Exactly. It gives like so close and yet so far. Like they're so near the point of understanding that like actually the patriarchy is forcing you into a box that you don't belong in, and that doesn't have to happen. That box doesn't have to exist. You could just be a happy woman and live your life. And yet they're so far because they at the last hurdle take it out on a minority of people that have nothing really to do with it. We're just another victim of the same issue. I had a roommate once who was 6 foot. She was a beautiful woman, cis woman, and if you saw her face, you would never like. There were no masculine traits to that, but just purely from being 6 foot, if she went out in a hoodie, she would say, I get the odd like, you know, misgendering word. I get called sir from behind. Some people say like hello lad, you know, in English British, but she said to me, like, so I can see how it happens to you in the world and how that must make you feel, and I am, because of that, I'm on your side, I'm your ally, you know, and that's all it took. It's not hard to be aware of the situation and then on the side of the minority, you know, and it's like they don't want to do that last step and have some humanity, and that's where I lose a lot of respect for them, you know.
No, yeah, it's the ones that just like they internalize it to where you choose to attack the wrong people. Like again, there's trans women that are fighting for reproductive rights, that are really pissed about the way Roe v. Wade was taken away, the way
and the patriarchy and the gender pay gap.
Yeah, they're attacking people, trans people who are fighting for reproductive rights, not just for women, for anyone that's able to give birth.
Yeah.
Whether that's a trans man, a non-binary person, etc.
Yeah.
So it's
exactly.
It's really wild to kind of see like they're attacking their own allies, their comrades, people who are for equality, that are fighting the patriarchy. And you know, like in a way, like they're being pick-me's as if they're gonna get chosen. Still not gonna get chosen.
They're not.
Too,
they're gonna have fewer. Yeah, they're gonna have fewer comrades. Hi, how are you? You enjoying MATRIARCHETYPE? Thank you. I'm so glad you found me. Well, anyway, if you want to get more involved, we do have a Discord server. You can chat to the community. I'll be in there sometimes just chilling out. You get to like have a one-on-one with me if you so desire. Or you can of course become a YouTube member or a patron. And yes, this was secretly a patron plug from the beginning. I got you. But seriously, I am trying to get a few more of the smallest paying patrons, like £2 a month. It just helps me expand the channel. If you can, please do support in any way you feel comfortable. But otherwise, check out some of my other videos, watch them to the end, and you'll be doing your bit to help grow MATRIARCHETYPE and increase the positivity for the LGBTQIA+ and ally community. So anyway, have a good day, have a look around, and let me know if you need any help.